Hey there, beautiful souls. Today, we're diving into a story of someone who might remind you of someone you know, or maybe even yourself. Meet Kofi. He's the kind of man people admire, successful, handsome, and incredibly organized. His life looks perfect from the outside, but there's something beneath the surface, a distance, a quiet wall he has built between himself and the people who care about him. If you've ever struggled to connect with someone who seems emotionally unavailable or detached, this episode is for you. We're exploring dismissive avoidant attachment and how it shapes relationships, often leaving both the avoidant person and those around them feeling isolated. So let's dive into Kofi's story. Kofi was the kind of man whose life revolved around work. He was super efficient, always on the move, and found immense pleasure from his career. To him, work wasn't just a job, it was an escape, a place where he felt in control. His friends were far and few between, and people closest to him, family, cousins, old friends, often found themselves waiting for his attention. Kofi's life revolved around a cycle of disappearing for months at a time, traveling for work, then returning with gifts for everyone, as though time away didn't matter. For Kofi, relationships seemed to operate on his terms. If someone wanted to be close to him, they had to bear with his silences, his emotional distance, and his tendency to withdraw when things got too intense. And when people got upset with him, he didn't try to resolve things. Instead, he just disappeared, hoping time would smooth things over. To him, emotions were very uncomfortable, and criticism felt like a personal attack. He was suspicious of others, believing they couldn't be trusted. Kofi was most comfortable in his own company, with his dog as his closest companion. He had grown so used to being lonely that it felt like home, a place where no one could hurt him. So what's going on with Kofi? His behavior isn't just about personality, it's about dismissive avoidant attachment. Dismissive avoidant attachment often forms in childhood when a caregiver is emotionally unavailable, dismissive, or overly critical. Imagine a child reaching out for comfort, only to be ignored or told, "Stop crying." Over time, that child learns that emotions aren't safe to express and that relying on others leads to disappointment. As adults, people with dismissive avoidant attachment often, number one, prioritize independence. They see relying on others as weakness and value self-sufficiency above all else. 2, they withdraw emotionally. When relationships become too intense, they pull away to avoid vulnerability. 3, avoidance avoid conflict. Instead of addressing issues, they distance themselves, hoping time will make things better. 4, they struggle with trust. They often are suspicious of others' intentions, believing people cannot be relied upon. For someone like Kofi, the idea of opening up feels risky. Letting someone in means exposing himself to the possibility of rejection or hurt. So he builds walls that protect him but also isolate him. The impact of dismissive avoidant attachment isn't just on the person themselves. It ripples out to everyone around them. For Kofi's family, his constant disappearances left them feeling like they were always waiting for him to come back. His long-suffering friends had to accept that they would only hear from him when it was convenient for him. In relationships, this detachment feels deeply hurtful to the other person. They may feel unloved, unimportant, or like they are chasing after someone who keeps running away. But for the dismissive avoidant person, this distance isn't about malice, it's about self-protection. They generally believe that emotional detachment is the safest way to live. Unfortunately, this mindset often leaves them isolated, longing for connection but unsure how to create it. So how can someone like Kofi begin to heal? Healing for the dismissive avoidant attachment takes time and effort, but it's also absolutely possible. Here are some steps in healing. 1. Acknowledge the pattern. The first step is recognizing the emotional walls you've built. Reflect on your own behavior that might be affecting your relationships and why you've learned to avoid vulnerability. Number 2, change your beliefs. Dismissive avoidants often believe that emotions are weakness or that people can't be trusted. Start questioning these beliefs. Are they really based on reality or are they just rooted in childhood experiences? 3. Practice vulnerability. Start small. Share something personal with someone you trust. Let yourself feel the discomfort of being open. It gets easier with practice. 4. Seek therapy. Therapy can be incredibly helpful understanding and breaking avoidant patterns. A therapist can help you process past wounds and learn healthier ways to connect. 5. Reconnect with your loved ones. If you've distanced yourself from family or friends, take small steps to rebuild those connections. Let them know you value them even if you struggle to show it. Healing isn't about becoming someone you're not. It's about learning to balance independence with connection. It's about realizing that vulnerability isn't a weakness. It's the bridge to deeper relationships and connections. Kofi's story reminds us that even the strongest walls can be brought down with patience and effort. Dismissive avoidant attachment isn't a life sentence. It's a pattern that can be unlearned. If you recognize yourself or someone you know in this story, take heart. Healing is possible and it starts with understanding. Thank you for spending time with me today. If this resonated, share it with someone who might need to hear it. And tell me in the comment section, what's one small step you'll take toward deeper connection? Until next time, remember, together we heal, together we grow, and together we thrive. You've got